Coming up on After the Whistle, a high school baseball team's recent success on the diamond.
Plus, a look into how Penn State baseball's hopes are increasing in the Big Ten standings.
And another championship is brought into Happy Valley. All that and much more right now on After the Whistle. Hello and welcome back to After the Whistle, our last one of the spring 2023 semester. I'm Jarrett Davler.
And I'm John Drager, and we have some breaking news to start out today's show. Pup Johnson, you are a Nittany Lion. The former UNC guard Johnson announced his commitment to Penn State on Twitter within the hour.
The sophomore averaged 4.1 points per game and 2.7 boards per game off the bench for the Tar Heels.
In his freshman season, he helped bring North Carolina to the national championship game back in 2022. Johnson marks the fourth transfer to join the Nittany Lions since head coach Mike Rhodes took over.
He joins former VCU players in guards Ace Baldwin and Nick Kern Jr. and Temple forward Zach Hicks.
And it's going to be a big-time transfer coming in for the Nittany Lions. Now moving into high school baseball, State High travels to Mifflin County to get revenge against the Huskies. Mifflin County won the earlier matchup in State College 7-3 back on March 29th, but the Little Lions are looking for blood. Top of the first now with a runner on second, Tony Herzing drills that one deep into left field, and that baby is gone. State College up 2-0 in an instant, and immediate fireworks from the bats of the Little Lions. Now we move to the bottom of the third, runner on first. Xavier Smith ropes one down the left field line into the corner for a base hit. Tucker Gill coming around the corner, but rounding third, getting the signal, the relay throw into home plate will be in time. Smith moving on over to third, but State High keeping the score at 2-0 for the time being. And a big time throw right there by the right fielder. Now the next bouter coming in, a wild pitch high in the zone for ball four. That'll bring Smith home from third. Mifflin County getting on the board now. It's a 2-1 ball game for the Little Lions. Top of the sixth, runners in scoring position. Austin Harder, he puts that one into right field just deep enough to get the sacrifice fly. The runner tags up from third and scores in. The ball goes past the catcher at home plate, goes out of play. That advances the second run to come in and score. It's now 4-1 State College. We head now to the bottom of the seventh. Do or die time for the Huskies. Smith drilling one into center field, but here comes Ever Summerson. Sports Center top 10 play with the diving grab, and that helps secure State College's win 4-2. State College avenging the loss from earlier in the season, taking down Mifflin County. The Huskies are now on a 5-game losing streak dating all the way back to April 12th. They just started their matchup with Altoona. State College has won 5 of its last 8 since their first meeting back in March. They are facing Chambersburg right now. And live at Community Field is After the Whistle reporter Carlos Garcia as first pitch is underway. Carlos, what are the vibes for the Little Line faithful?
Thanks, guys. Well, just as the weather in State College is starting to heat up, the Little Lions baseball team is starting to heat up at the right time as well. Happening right now behind me, they're hosting the Chambersburg Trojans in a match where the Little Lions need some momentum to pick up their season. After a midseason slump where they dropped 3 of 4 games, they're back on track, sitting at a .500 record and 4th in their conference. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for the live update, Carlos. Let's go do another high school baseball game as Huntington High School traveled over to Bald Eagle area on Tuesday for what turned out to be a one-sided affair. It looked like a beautiful day for some baseball in the Bald Eagle area. The two pitchers took the mound and got loose, settled in before the game got started. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning where it's Anthony Patty lining one off the third baseman. The ball gets behind him. Runner comes around third, heads home, and just beats the throw to put Bald Eagle on the board, giving them the 1-0 lead. In the bottom of the second, it's Eric Mikett leading it off, driving the ball deep into right center, landing just before the wall. He's rounding second, heading to third, showing off his speed in the process and getting a triple. That's one way to lead off an inning. In the bottom of the fourth, Bald Eagle loaded up the bases and then scored 2 runs just by watching the ball. Back-to-back bases loaded walks add on to their lead. Staying in the fourth inning, Bald Eagle added another 2 runs with a deep double into right field. An inning later, the Eagles were able to tack on 4 more runs, making the score 15-3 and winning by mercy rule. With the victory, Bald Eagle improves to 10-2 on the year with a conference record of 7-2 and will take on Central Mountain later today. Huntington falls to 5-8 with a 2-7 conference record and will look to bounce back on Thursday against Hollidaysburg.
After a season-opening loss against them, State High looks for revenge against the Mifflin County Huskies, this time at their home field. Here's a look at Community Field, which even saw some rain showers for a few minutes in the first inning, but the weather would sort of clear up here for the faithful. Now we head into the top half of the first inning. State High's Addison Harpster strikes out McKenna Yoder to end the half inning and hold the Huskies scoreless. Now we move into the bottom half of the first, and it would be a big one for State High. Jessica Hawbaker in a dangerous situation, but able to get to third. Ball passes by. She would get a free pass to home, and things would start off well for the Lady Lions as they got an early lead. Now heading on up, Brooke Weaver rubs a ground rule double through the wall, and that would put runners in scoring position. Now we stay in that bottom of the first. Gabriella Todd waiting at home plate for the pitch, and it's a little bit low in the dirt, and it gets by the catcher. That would score an immediate run off of the awkward slide, and State College continuing to add on to their lead. But the big blow comes right here. Meredith Mings crushes one deep over into left center field. That one goes over the wall, and that's out of here. That's a big-time home run for State College. They would go on to win this one 15-5. With the win, the two teams would split their season series after Mifflin County won 4-2 on opening day. State High advances to 3-5, while the Mifflin County Huskies drop to 7-5.
Let's do some college baseball and head over to Medlar Field, where the Nittany Lions took on the Buckeyes of Ohio State, and although the weather was cold, Penn State was red hot. Both teams are getting loose in the infield, trying to get something going, just getting ready for today's game. Hopefully it warms up. Starts off in the top of the third. Ohio State gets on the board, scoring on a wild pitch. Trey Lipsy dashing in. Penn State was able to grab their first lead in the bottom of the fourth. Billy Gertlett draws the walk and brings in Bobby Marsh to make the score 4-3 in favor of the Nittany Lions. Later in that same inning, an Ohio State error helps Taven Kelly get on base and scores Grant Norris, adding on to the Penn State lead and making it 6-3. We stay in the fourth inning here. Kyle Hannon up to bat, takes a wild pitch, and it's also ball four, leads to both Billy Gertlett and Taven Kelly coming around third, scoring. That's 2 runs on a wild pitch and a walk, helping the Nittany Lions increase their lead over the Buckeyes. Penn State was able to score 10 runs, all in the bottom of the fourth, and never look back. The Nittany Lions went on to win by a score of 15-3 and sweep the Buckeyes. After falling to West Virginia this Tuesday, the Nittany Lions are hosting Iowa this weekend and look to strengthen their conference record. Our reporter, Allie Winkowski, was at Sunday's game and saw it all go down. You tell us what you saw, Allie.
Thanks, Jarrett. Before this weekend, Penn State had only won 2 conference games, but all that changed when the Ohio State Buckeyes traveled to Medlar Field. Let's take a look.
The Nittany Lions headed into Sunday's contest with the goal of a broom in hand. They did just that, getting the home sweep over the Ohio State Buckeyes. It was their offense that shined throughout the entire day. In specific, it was the younger talent that shined the brightest. Freshman Bobby Marsh hit an impressive 3 RBIs and 2 runs to pave the way for Penn State's victory. On the year, the rookie is batting .337 and earlier this year had a streak of at least 1 RBI in 9 consecutive games. Head coach Rob Cooper said that Marsh has been a hard worker in spite of not seeing the field a lot earlier in the season.
You know, if you go back early on, he was playing sparingly, he wasn't starting, and hey, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to work while I wait, and I'm going to, and then that gets his chances, and he's been really good for us.
It was Marsh who was walked in to give the Nittany Lions the lead on Sunday in the bottom of the fourth. Later in the inning, the blue and white's bats exploded. Runs came in every way imaginable, including walks, fielder's choices, errors, and hits. But Bobby Marsh's 3-run home run put the game out of reach.
Not only was the bottom of the fourth impressive for Penn State because they put up 10 runs, but 7 of those runs were recorded without even the first out.
Cooper said that the difference in their hitting this past weekend was due to the mechanical work the team's been doing the past week.
And when you have good approaches, you're going to hit balls hard, you're going to get rewarded, and then you're going to put balls in play, put pressure on the other team. So I think it was a little bit of both.
PSU moves to 5-7 in conference play.
The Nittany Lions will be home again this weekend when they take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Friday's matchup is the last Dollar Dog Night of the season, and there'll be post-game fireworks as well. Reporting in studio, I'm Allie Winskowski. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you, Allie. And we have a developing story coming in here today. Penn State tight end Theo Johnson has been accused of simple assault and criminal mischief following an alleged altercation earlier in the year. Police say that the male victim was punched in the face by another man who was later identified as Johnson. The victim was treated for a concussion at Mount Nittany Medical Center. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for May 24th. And after the break, and for the first time and after the whistle, we'll take a look at Penn State men's volleyball's team success at the EIVA tournament over the weekend.
And a look at high school and Penn State lacrosse over the past week.
But first, let's see some scores from around District 6. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back to After the Whistle, brought to you by Com Radio, the Center County Report, and Penn State's chapter of Awesome.
Penn State men's lacrosse climbed the top of the Big Ten mountain this season. But before we get to that, the volleyball team had to boast some success of their own.
Yeah, it was a big game. After last year's EIVA semifinal appearance and loss to Princeton, top-seeded Penn State looked to flip the script this year and playing Princeton again, this time in the championship. Both teams look ready to go, getting loose in their huddles. They were excited. This was a big one, and there was a lot on the line. In the late stages of the first set, Penn State holding a commanding lead, looking to put away the first set. Mihal Koval comes from the back and freezes the Princeton defense with a changeup to take the first set. Deep into the second set, with the Nittany Lions dominating, it's Cal Fisher, Owen Rose, and Brett Wildman combining for a triple block, giving Penn State a 24-8 second set win. They would go on to win the second set and lead by a commanding 2-0. The Nittany Lion is even excited. How could you not be? So midway through the third set, there's a good volley going, and Penn State searching for a spark. Fisher gets the perfect set from the back, smashes it home, and that puts Penn State on the cusp of capturing the third set. Let's go to the championship point. Princeton serving it. It's senior leader Sam Marsh coming down the middle and smashing it off. A Princeton defender goes out of bounds, and Penn State scores the game-winning point, winning the championship. This is their 35th EIVA title, and they won it in straight sets. Pretty impressive. Cal Fisher was named MVP of the tournament after his 12 kills. He was able to pick up his 1,000th of his career and 35 across the tournament. Penn State moves on to the NCAA tournament beginning on May 2nd, where they await the winner of Ohio State and King.
And that was a pretty impressive performance by the Nittany Lions, wouldn't you say that,
That
Jared?
was a great game, yeah.
Absolutely. And now, joining us in studio is Logan Brandes, who was at the championship match for Princeton and Penn State. Logan, avenging last year's loss in the semifinals for the Nittany Lions on their own home court. That's got to feel really special for Mark Pavlik and the squad.
Thanks, John and Jarrett. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Penn State fell in the EIVA semifinals last season against Princeton to miss out on the NCAA tournament. 1 year later, it was the Nittany Lions who came out on top. Let's take a look. For the 33rd time in program history, the Nittany Lions are EIVA Conference champions, defeating Princeton in straight sets to capture the title. The win comes just a season after the Blue and White suffered postseason heartbreak at the hands of that same Tigers team, which kept them out of the NCAA tournament. Last season, Penn State fell in the EIVA semifinals to the eventual champion Princeton Tigers, but a year later, Penn State was able to get sweet revenge. The Nittany Lions wouldn't make the same mistake twice in front of a packed rec hall, and for two-time EIVA Player of the Year Cole Bogner, that loss was always on the back of the team's mind.
Yeah, revenge is pretty sweet. So it was always lying in the back of our heads, but we tried to never keep it like something that we always thought about. It's always like, you know, it happened and everybody knows it happened, but we never wanted to have that as our main drive. We kind of just want to have our main drive as being the best team we could and beating every team in front of us.
Spearheading the Lions' offensive attack was Cal Fisher, who was named the tournament's most outstanding player for the second time of his career. Fisher got his 1,000th career kill during the tournament and led the team with 2 service aces in the championship.
It's been our focus all year, is focus on our serve and pass game, and our serving game was very good tonight, and our pass game was phenomenal. So that makes it a lot easier for us to win matches.
Being crowned as the king of the EIVA is nothing new for head coach Mark Pavlik, who picked up his 24th championship win of his career.
It's always great to be the champion. It's good to be the king. And I think these guys will wear the crown pretty well.
But now, as the Nittany Lions prepare for the NCAA tournament in Fairfax, all eyes are on the all-EIVA first-team middle blocker Toby Ezionu, who could come back after an injury in the semifinals.
I'm not ruling him out. I think he's in a position where we could see him down the road.
How far down the road?
How far is it to Fairfax?
We'll see if Ezionu makes a return for the NCAA tournament, where the Nittany Lions will face either Ohio State or King in the quarterfinals as the number 3 seed in the tournament.
All right, thanks, Logan. And that core 3 right there of Bogner, Wildman, and Fisher, that's a very dominant core that Penn State have seen over the past couple of years.
Yeah, we saw at the entire tournament, those 3 worked really well together, the experienced trio. We'll see if they can keep it up.
Absolutely. And now we're going to head out to a little bit south of Rec Hall for State College Area High School lacrosse. The 8-1 Little Lions host the 10-1 Trinity Shamrocks as both teams want to hand the other their second loss of the season. We're going to get things started with Trinity senior Owen Hamill. He puts that one into the back of the net and scoring the first goal of the game, 1-0 Shamrocks. Hamill isn't done, though, as he's evading Little Lion defenders to get his second goal of the first quarter as part of a 5-goal first quarter for Trinity. Now into the second quarter, State High is looking to tighten in his defense and get things going. Sophomore Ty Salazar gets the Little Lions on the board by pushing in front of the net and scoring with a stick in his face. Later in the second, State High fighting back all the way back and takes the lead with a flank attack from junior Tennyson Banks. Luck continues to run out for the Shamrocks in the third quarter, starting off with a State High goal right from the back door from Ty Salazar, and the Little Lions outscored the Shamrocks 12-2 after the first quarter and win this one 12-7. Salazar led State High with 5 goals on the night. Now 9-1 State High will play Redland away tomorrow, and 10-2 Trinity hosts Cumberland Valley.
Number 5, Penn State men's lacrosse hosted number 11 Rutgers on Friday for the final regular season game of 2023. We take you over to Panzer Stadium where things are getting ready, the teams are stretching out, and the captains meet at center field. Let's head into the first quarter. Right at the beginning of the game, it's Matt Costin in the back. He cuts left and scores, shooting it into the net. Keeping it in the first, Kevin Winkoff finds his mark. Mark Sickler rips one into the back of the net, scoring again. Less than a minute later, Luke Mercer sets up Jack Trainer in the same spot for the same result, another Nittany Lion goal. After a 3-goal run by Rutgers, Mercer takes it across the field himself and snipes it past the goalie for another Nittany Lion score. Now Penn State, with a man-up advantage, moves the ball around before Malone is able to find Ethan Long, who sneaks his way in for the score. Kicking it off in the final quarter of the regular season, Kevin Winkoff fakes the shot, cuts right, and scores. The elevator shot, tough one to get past the goalie, but he's able to do it. Penn State wins the regular season game with 14-5 to cap off their season with a record of 9-3. They secure a 1 seed in the first round, get a bye in the Big Ten tournament. For Rutgers, it falls to 8-5 and will face number 8 Maryland in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, which starts this Saturday. Our own Joseph Callahan was there to capture the Big Ten action. Joe, how did the Friendship Cup turn out?
Thanks, Jarrett. Well, Penn State didn't make it seem too friendly for the Friendship Cup, but we all know that old adage. There's all fair in love, war, and Big Ten lacrosse. Let's take a look.
The Nittany Lions are roaring once again. After 3 straight victories against top 15 opponents, they awaited the sword swings from the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, who are ranked 11th in the nation. Off the back of a 3-goal night from graduate student attacker Kevin Winkoff, coupled with 4 assists from TJ Malone, the Lions clawed through the armor of the Knights, capturing the Big Ten regular season crown. And according to Malone, the team will take anything with one fabled word on it.
Champion. Anything that says champion on it is an honor. So super blessed to be here. Our team, we got more work to do. This isn't the national championship, and that's our goal. So we got to get back to work this week.
This victory captured two things for the Nittany Lions. First, the first round bye, a key piece to set up success. The second, the first seed in the Big Ten tournament, along with help from Johns Hopkins defeating Maryland this past Saturday. Head coach Jeff Tambroni says this is all due from the work they put in the past.
You know, it's not easy. Winning is not easy. We learned that the hard way over the last couple of years. And just, yeah, I would say that their legacy, the story is not done yet. But I think to quantify that and the way this season is going, it says a lot about their persistence and resilience, and it was on display here tonight.
Penn State awaits the conclusion of the Ohio State-Michigan series for their next action. Michigan leads the series 1-0, and Game 2 is on Saturday at 3:30 in Ann Arbor.
Penn State's semifinals round is set to begin on May 4th in Baltimore. That is, once their opponent is known. Thanks, guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Joe. It looked like a great game. Thank you for tuning in to After the Whistle, not just today, but all semester long, as we ventured into 6 new sports here on the show. When we come back for the fall, we head back to the gridiron.
After the Whistle will be back in August, but until then, for director Scott Stranix and producer AJ Sisson, and for our entire After the Whistle staff, I'm John Drager.
And I'm Jarrett Davler. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you this fall on After the Whistle.